look at that fucking cave you got going there. Holy shit, that's so metal.
Yeah. What's that behind you? That sketchy thing.
That is a painting from our eldest of some mushrooms.
Oh,
We're into
cool.
mushrooms in this household. We forage. We're kind of like just near the Adelaide Hills, so we get like some really gourmet varieties growing up here.
Yeah, nice, man. Do
Yeah.
you ever have to avoid the deadly ones? You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, it sucks so much when that shit went to court because like everyone who knows us knows that we forage. And immediately we get everyone like going, "Oh my God, look out! Be
yeah.
careful!" And it's like, for fuck's sake, she was trying to find the deadly ones. She was trying to kill everyone. Like, you know, uh, but yeah, no, we're cool. We, although I'll probably jinx myself now. I'll probably turn up dead like next year, and this recording will be out there, like going, "Yeah, this dude thought he knew what he was foraging."
Yeah. Well, since we spoke last, the Coffin box set came out. Back on Black. That's cool. You're in pretty good company there, man. And Back on Black.
Yeah, that was quite a coup. So that came about indirectly because we self-released Die for Us last year, and that was our first independent release. Before then, we'd been on prosthetic records out in the States.
Mm,
Uh, while we were gearing up for the album Five Die for a self-release, like Dave was contacting distributors around the world to see who could like carry the CD.
mm,
And I think Connor got wind of it. This is all like turning into 6 degrees of separation. So Connor is like he runs Apocalyptic Witchcraft Records,
mhm,
which Matt and I uh, are on through the Antichrist Imperium.
mm,
And so he got onto us like going, "Hey, I work with Plastic Head Distribution sometimes, and Steve Beatty. Uh, they might carry it for you." So we got into contact with him, and I think Steve and Dave like recognized like businessmen in each other, and got along well. And before we knew what was going on, they were not only carrying Die for Us, but then and loving it, but also then going, "Do you guys want to sign up? If you're an independent at the moment, do you want to sign with us?" And we were very quick to jump on board that, not only because they're great guys and it's always good to be on a label that actually likes what you're doing, but releasing an independent album's a lot of work. And
yeah.
I hadn't done that for a few years. And yeah, I think doing Die for Us was very tiring. Uh, so yeah, it's great to be on a label again and have them sort of like steering the show and being able to step back a little bit more into just the we're being hooligans and making noise role instead of having to crunch deals.
Yeah, cool, man. Putting that together, looking back over the albums you've done so far, was there a bit of like journal moment in time thing going on? Like remembering, oh, this album's a reaction to COVID and this is because we're angry about some other thing, you know?
Like everything we do, we didn't think about it too much. Like you
Mm,
put thought into stuff and it might accidentally come across as being intelligent or purposeful, which is
yeah.
just like not us. But having said that, yeah, there was some funny moments. Like, we look back at The Dead Are Screaming, and the world was pretty different then. Like that was pre-COVID. That was 2019, that we got together and we started recording that. And that was like, for me, life was very different back then. I was sort of like single and living in an apartment and, no family kind of thing. So it's, yeah, stuff is super different now. Um, yeah, there was a little bit of that, but more than anything, we were kind of going, my God, you know, time's flown by. It's it's a little bit scary. And there's also people like yourselves where we've, each year, every time an album comes out, we're having a chat or whatnot. And it's kind of like, holy shit, before we know what's going on, a decade is going to have passed.
Yeah.
Um, we started it sort of like still sort of like holding on relatively fresh face. And by the time like, we blast out album number 10 and it's done, I'll be on a fucking walking frame talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. So yeah, the ugliest of all, September 19.
Mm.
You got the poser blood red, variant. The that Mitchell Nolte image, is that pigs devouring a poser? Like, what are we looking at there?
Mitchell always has like a really deeper meaning, when it comes to his images. I think first and foremost, they're just like visceral brutality.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
made to like have people just go, holy shit, this is going to be something brutal. And it always works for that. Uh, with this one, I think like he's been, I guess, consumed himself by the political events like happening around the world over the last like a year or 18 months.
Mm.
Pigs have always had like a particular symbology.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe like that corpse that they're feasting upon is Lady Liberty. In any
Mhm.
case, it's definitely a lady. And there's horrific details in there as well for anyone with the stomach to like go in with a magnifying glass. That's always the way with Mitchell and his artwork. Like, I thought I'd seen, I looked at it and we were all kind of like, ugh, when we saw it. And then like, I thought I'd picked out some horrifying details. And then I was like, Mitchell got onto us and was like, hey, did you find the pig like with the dick in its mouth? And I was like, um, to me, I'm kind of like, oh, that sounds like the Anil Nathrak EP they put out, pig with cocks in its eyes. Like, but yeah, there's always some great references in there. I like how it sort of shadows the album in that it's just like mindless, gratuitous violence and brutality, where to satisfy all us Neanderthals. But then if you want to like look into it a little bit more, there's more there for it for everyone else, and done to a level of intelligence which you wouldn't guess at upon the initial impact.
Yeah, sure. And then you've got the lyric video, Falls of the Trade.
Ha.
Calling your listeners fucking nerds and all that's pretty great. Um, yeah, what made you guys decide to put that one out first? Was there something about it? Like,
um, we always kind of grind out a few videos like in order to pump an album. This is something every band does these days.
yeah,
But we there's a couple of like songs on the album where the lyrics particularly shine. Um, I reckon that would be one of them.
mm,
The other one would be Logorrhea,
yeah,
but that would probably be. It's so chock full of language that it will probably be like cancelled by every streaming service and social media outlet. So yeah, Fools of the Trade was the for us safer
fair enough.
selection. Um, yeah, it's quite funny. Like there's a couple of Twitter accounts I follow where the guys are just like strict as like fully righteous, and constant, and they fucking love gatekeeping so hard,
Yeah.
and I love that shit. I love that there's some true believers out there. And so yeah, a lot of like what I was saying there is just kind of inspired by what I'm reading on those guys like accounts. It's
Mm,
fantastic. Like they're gold mines.
mm, yeah. Oh, well, if it's cool, just quickly, I wouldn't mind going track by track if that's all right. I've been listening. It's Ripper.
Yeah, go for it.
So Fools of the Trade, we got that Necrotomy Couchman sample, right? Like the that death metal,
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we know everyone old school is going to like perk up when they hear that. They're going to be like, I've heard that before. I know that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's cool.
But it also works great in context as well.
Yeah, yeah. And then I want to be offended. So you
Yep.
latching on to some young kind of ideas there,
Yeah, look, it's something that we've always poked fun at.
right?
Or we poke fun and make fun and abuse like everyone and everything. No particular side really gets off scot free with us.
Yeah.
So that one is like down to people who are into performance rage.
Mm.
I've always sort of like spoken about you know, I used to play football like when I was back at school, and there'd be those kind of guys who, you know, the soccer players would know them as the Neymars, like the guys who are kind of like, you touch them and they go, oh, like that, and fall
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
make a big fuss and go, oh, umpire, like that. And to me, a lot of like discourse these days about important things, you know, seems to be along those lines. People getting mega offended for points, not to make a point. So yeah, it's a song about that, but it's also musically, like I reckon it's Matt, kind of honing what he's been developing for a while with Werewolves. Like we've got like Dave, going his mega magic sort of blastery.
Mm.
But Matt's been really mixing up the death metal with the technical riffs with the black metal into a catchy, cohesive whole. It all doesn't sound like it'd go well together, but it does, and I think that song is Exhibit A of that approach.
Yeah, for sure. The ugliest of all, that's got a bit of a cool kind of melancholic black metal riff in there as well. Like, you sort of hear it. It's
Yes.
good. Yeah. So Skull Battering, the third song. What's going
Well,
on
if
there?
well, if we're talking about the bands that we're ripping off, I mean, being inspired by the
Hmm.
most,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one would probably be like for me. It sounds really Angel Corpse. Uh, yeah, it's one of my favorite ones. I was quite happy that it was like we put out a few singles before this album's come out, so anyone who wants to hear it, it's already out there.
Mm.
But it's a song about an entire country deciding to kill themselves.
Yeah,
It was kind of inspired by a Steve King book where a town like walk into the ocean
yeah,
together at midnight, and no one can sort of like stop them from drowning themselves. But yeah, it's very blackened and brutal, and it's got a great sort of like thrash middle section as well.
mm.
It gets a little bit 80s just for a few seconds.
Yeah, cool, man. And then Unoriginal Sin, the fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different one. Like this is as slow as we go on the album. This is a very blasting album. Every song's just a fucking apocalypse. But this one is kind of like as chill as we go. It finishes with I record with a guy in Adelaide called Jack Hartley.
Mm.
He engineers the vocals. And we did a lot of work on like a vocal sequence towards the end of this that he calls the opera of brutality.
Yeah.
But it also starts with our favorite guy to sample, Don Logan from Sexy Beast. So
Yeah. It's a
yeah.
great film. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the enshittification and great new word there.
Yeah, oh look, I'd love to claim it as my own. It's totally not. But the word I think describes perfectly the last few years. Like everyone's having it at the moment. Everything's getting more expensive and shitter simultaneously, and we see unfortunately no reason for that to slow down. But yeah, whereas most songs are a little bit sort of like jokey, ha ha, with like brutal as fuck with a little bit of levity to it. Unfortunately, this one's just like grim, grim and miserable from go to woe. It will bring no joy to anyone who listens to it. Pretty much like the last few years of real life.
Yeah, man, yeah. And then logorrhea, that's like a communication disorder, right? Like,
Yeah, like I found it kind of funny. Diarrhea, of course, is uncontrollable defecation, but logorrhea is uncontrollable verbosity,
mm,
which tends to describe my interviews pretty well. But it in this song, we usually have one song on each album where we just like fully fucking rip into like our fans,
mm,
and that's the one on this album. It's really strange. I'm trying to like work out shit I can say to people who enjoy this that will make them hate us, and I haven't been able to find it quite yet.
yeah,
This song is our attempt at that.
yeah. That's part of the appeal, man. Rats versus snakes. What's going on?
Ah,
Just
I love this one. This
yeah,
is another one of the singles that's come out already that you can find on Spotify and YouTube. But it's got this really awesome stomping sort of like chorus like that Matt and Dave have like constructed, and yeah, it's I can't sort of stop listening to that chorus. We're sort of like we're all into the 90s death metal where it's supposed to be catchy, and if you actually do something that's fucking cool to listen to, you don't just play it for 2 seconds and then ignore it for the rest of the song.
mm,
So yeah, I'm kind of cool that we've lent into that particular chorus riff a bit there. It's as far as song meanings go, it is I won't name the sides, but it's when two sides are fighting each other and both are equally shit, and you want them both to lose.
yeah,
Um,
sure. Yeah. Slaves to the Blast. Is that pretty self-explanatory?
yes.
Yeah.
um, I I was running around with like a phrase in my head: "We will find you, we will bash you, bash you, bash you, bash you, bash you," kind of like a thing. And that was the song where it finally got the outlet. Um, the guys have like taken to sort of also, we've got a bit of a formula going album to album by now, and they tend to come up with like something that's hardcore sounding like each album. And that's the one on this one. So it's kind of like the hardcore "We Will Bash You" kind of like kick your ass kind of song that I think we grew up enjoying. That was like the US hardcore scene. Every
Yeah.
song was about how they're going to run you down the street and like beat you until you're crying and bleeding.
Yeah.
So that's that one for us.
And then the title track, The Ugliest of All. Yeah.
Which it is. Before when we were writing for this album, well, I say when Matt was writing for this album, I think I was listening to a bit of Morbid Angel, and
Yeah.
their first four albums, like every time they do a blast, it's always a triplet.
Hmm.
They didn't go 16ths until until Formulas. But I was like, Matt, you got to do a triplet. You got to do a triplet song. Like I didn't need to specifically specify a triplet blast song because I know with Dave involved, it's always going to end up blasting. But I was like, yeah, give us a triplet. Like, so we got some of that old school feel. That's what bands always used to do. They always used to do triplets because that was as fast as they could go blasting wise. So hey presto, we squeezed that one out, and of course we completely lose it by the end. It turns into like a hyper blast frenzy of shred by the end of it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's as far as lyrics go, a few things. One was like, do you ever read those old Judge Dredd comics, 2000 AD?
Yeah, I got posters up mine. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
you know the storyline about Otto Sump.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was kind of like, that was stuck in my head. I hadn't read that for about at least 30 years, I think,
Hmm.
and it just popped up all of a sudden, like the trend of everyone trying to be as ugly as possible. On top of that, I think I'd read an interview with Phil Fasciana from Malevolent Creation where he was boasting about Malevolent Creation being the ugliest death metal band of all time, being proud of it as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fucking cool. So I was playing on that a bit, and then I was making fun of some loser in the States uh, who had got on my tits a little bit. There's a verse about like what a cunt he is.
Hmm. That's it.
So I just slipped that in there as well. Yeah, that's basically the song. It's just a melange of like Werewolves brand hatred, but also celebration of being ugly. And I guess if there's a theme to the entire album, it would be strong bad in the Trogdor episode, whereas like saying the gift of death metal does not does not smile upon the good looking. So
Yeah,
yeah, that kind of sums it up.
yeah, nice. Um, you're a bit of a futurist, right? So like Trump's won 2 US elections, Chat GPT is probably making us all idiots. Like, where are we going? What are you predicting, you know?
I stopped being able to predict anything with any certainty. Probably when Trump won the last election,
Yeah,
because right now we are in new territory.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
a lot, a lot of people, I guess my age and younger, particularly younger,
Yeah.
don't realize how much of world stability has been built in the last 80 years upon the United States being a stable, sensible, rules based democracy. And now they're turning into something else, which means the world is going to turn into something else. What? We don't know yet. Don't think it's particularly good because the entire of human history has been, almost non-stop warfare, and it's only been like since World War II and the rules-based order, negotiated at Bretton Woods, that has brought about this level of peace. And people go, how can you call it this level of peace? There's been the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, this war, that. And it's like, no, that is actually as peaceful as shit has got.
Mm.
So now that the rules-based order openly talks about invading Greenland and Canada, and is apparently disregarding its own constitution and lawful orders. Yeah, what it means for Australia, again, everyone goes, oh, it doesn't mean that, there's two extremes of view and they're both wrong. One is like, it doesn't mean anything for us. And another one says, well, we need to dump states immediately and go it alone. And it's kind of like, look, colonialist Australia has been under the protectorate of the British, who were the biggest floating badasses in the fucking planet, and every country was scared of a British naval ship turning up and just, blasting their shores. And they were our security guarantor. And almost seamlessly post World War II, we segued from the British to being a protector of the US, and the entire world was afraid of doing shit lest the US sails up to your doorstep and fucking annihilates you. And right now, yeah, it's so if we just get rid of them and go it alone, then we'll be entering a period of what will likely be widespread conflict without the protectorates that we've had for the last 200 years. And on the other side, we can't guarantee that the US would honour ANZUS. They don't want to honour the Budapest Memorandum, which specified that Ukraine gave up nukes in order for the US, UK, and Russia to protect them in the event of invasion or conflict. They're just disregarding that. They've made sounds like they'll let Taiwan go to China. So does anyone really think that if someone wanted to make a move on like a country of 26 million hippies who don't seem particularly interested in defending themselves and are resource rich, does anyone think that they're going to come and help us out? I think quietly behind closed doors at the moment, everyone's going no. So that's what it means for us. And there's other little things as well. It means like every time you see something crooked and criminal being gotten away with over there, no matter which party, it doesn't take more than a few weeks before you see someone trying the same thing down here. And I think we've been lucky so far that none of it has really caught on. But I know there's organised evangelical groups. I'm in South Australia, unfortunately. There's tons here. And they are constantly trying it on. You've got Senator Alex Antic down here where, anytime people are arguing about something on Twitter, he immediately tries it on as policy here. So, yeah, what it means for the world's nothing good. And the song we've got on the latest album, The Enshittification, is a bit of that. Like, I'm 50. How old are you?
46, almost 46. So close enough.
So yeah, like I get this terrible feeling that we've seen the best of times, where you can live overseas and not have to check your app to see where the war is firing at the moment, where you don't have to worry so much about the non-stop scamming, where inflation hasn't reduced everything to unaffordable, where privacy still existed, where slavery wasn't a thing. I think we got it pretty good for a while back there. And unfortunately, I don't see any signs that that's coming back.
There's also the weirdness too, like obviously, like you making extreme music, and we've got freedom of speech and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know how much longer that's gonna last. You know what I mean? Like, who knows where we
are? Yeah, and again, like for anyone that's like thinking I've been too tough on Trump and the states on the one hand, on the other hand, yeah, I'm worried about freedom of speech when I see things like the YouTube age verification bill that got slipped in here in Australia. That is custom built for widespread abuse, and no one sincerely believes that like a country that just gets hacked on the regular by scammers worldwide, up to and including, Medicare and government organisation and apps. No one thinks that the government will be able to store their ID without that just being hacked, stolen, nicked, and then some scammer, imitating you so they can get your great big juicy Western $100,000. It's policy made by short-sighted people who don't seem to worry about making us marks. And it's a shit of an age to be someone who's middle of the road like myself.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, yay, buy
Yeah,
our album.
woo, yeah. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh, well, what else can you do, man? You know what I mean? We gotta have some fun here, man. You know?
Yeah, it's really weird because like we're Wells at the moment is like hell bent on doing our 10 albums in 10 years, like,
Mm,
and we've always talked about we'll talk about it every album. We won't shut up about it. And yeah, album number 10 will be, oh god, what, it comes out 2030.
mm,
um and before I used to be able to sort of like make a bit of a guess. Like when you were younger, in the earlier age, I guess you could
mm.
sort of project forward 5 years, 10 years and go, yeah, this is what the world would be like. And right now I've got zero idea what the world is going to look out when album number 10, out
Mm.
into the world. Like, I can't even guess. I can't even guess.
Yeah.
And anyone who tells you that they can is fucking lying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the 10 albums, like, I, I mean, I guess you'll know when you get there, but is there any chance you go, let's do 11? Or, like, is there always just going to be 10?
Oh, I shouldn't laugh because, like, the other day, Matt saw, what was it, a little bit of footage of Pete Sandoval, like at
Yeah.
62, sort of like blasting away on the drums for like I Am Orbit.
Mhm.
And he's like 62 and still blasting on drums. He's like, right, I've changed the goal. It's 20 albums in 20 years. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you'll get to, if you do that, maybe I'll get to album 10, and then after that, bass can be done by MIDI. And
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so obviously, Dave and Matt got a Bramlin and other things. And do you have your finger in any other music pies at the moment? Any other stuff coming up?
I was going to say, we do Faustian, which is
Hmm.
a black metal band, and we've uh, just finished recording our second album for that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And the mixes have found their way to Joe Haley,
Hmm.
who does all the mixing for like all the werewolf stuff. And so he'll be, I think, once they come back from Necrosonic, he'll be getting back to work on that. I think, yeah, they're all probably like on a plane right this very second, getting back to their respective homes.
Yeah.
Got to say, I'm rather jealous. Like that, I just saw the photos before I jumped onto this interview, and that looked fucking great.
Yeah.
I had so many friends there as well. I was just like, um, so yeah, we're going to have that probably mixed and mastered sometime over the next month. And I don't know what we're going to do with it. Like, we're not signed to anywhere. The last album just got put out on Bandcamp. What I can say is it is probably musically the thing I'm most excited about having done for a while. It sounds amazing already before it's even been mixed. It's Matt has lent right into the black metal strand of DNA, which he obviously possesses,
Mm.
and he's come out with what, when I heard them, when we all heard the demos, which was a few years ago now, like my immediate thought was like, oh, we've got something here which could possibly, be something that you can put against Emperor's Anthems to the Welcome at Dusk. Not saying it just sounds black metal. I'm saying it sounds black metal and fucking amazing. And then, of course, Dave got to work on it, and he's got like plenty of like black coursing through his veins to tap. So, then it got better, and it's found its way to me. And normally, when it comes to werewolves, I've only got like 6 months of like writing and thinking about the music and putting lyrics and vocal patterns together. With this, I'd had a few years. So I got to try a whole bunch of stuff, and try a whole bunch of different things, practice things that I wasn't good at. And yeah, I think as a result, we've got a very interesting, colorful album that's pretty powerful, and it may turn out fucking awesome.
Yeah.
so
Oh, good
so
man.
yeah, I've pumped that a little bit. Wells is all right as well, but like the Faustian, I'm like pumped about this.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what people think about it. It's really funny. Like when we put out the first Faustian album, like people were like, "Oh my god, it's really good," and I was like, "Duh, of course." When we put this one out, like, yeah, I think we're going to have people all over again going, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And it's like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, no, good man. That's
Yeah.
cool. So you think we'll see that before the end of the year, that release,
No,
or no,
no,
no?
no. It will be mixed fairly soon, but with something like this, you know, previous album, we're happy just to chuck it out on Bandcamp and throw it to the masses and like,
Hmm.
run that flag up the pole, see what everyone thinks. With something like this, we probably want it to be on a label.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, it's if ever we were going to get on one of like our dream labels, this would be sort of like the one to pitch at it.
Hmm.
It's a strong album, so
Cool.
yeah, I figure it's our best chance of like, you know, getting signed somewhere and having to avoid that whole independent album workload.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
If we're going to do a black metal album, I've got to have to learn to stop smiling.
yeah,
There we
true.
go.
Yeah, curious. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So Werewolves has been playing shows. So will Faustian get on the stage, you reckon?
No idea. I with Werewolves, there's always like, the possibility of that being the case,
Mm,
and it coalesced into a serious band pretty quickly.
mm,
Um, but with Faustian, that hasn't been the case. Like it's been very much making music for the love of making music.
mm,
Um, and it didn't take off like a greased pig the same way Werewolves did. Like where it got immediately picked up by Prosthetic Records within a month or two of having mixed and mastered, I guess, the demo.
mm.
Um, so yeah, add to that as well. Like there's various things about Faustian which you know would be difficult to do live. There's guitar parts which are very layered. You'd need at the very least two guitarists, and those guitarists would need to come armed with some serious pedal boards.
Mm.
As for vocals, Werewolves, I can like get around doing vocals and bass because it's like pretty, it's death metal, and
Yeah.
death metal is easy for me. But like Faustian, there's like layered vocal lines. It's very different from stuff that I've grown up doing and that I normally do. I could probably get by on just doing vocals. Long story short, we'd have to get a bassist and at least another guitarist. There'd have to be a ton of rehearsing.
Mm.
If we put this out and the world suddenly like lights on fire and they're like, oh my God, we need a live show, make it happen.
Mm.
Sometimes that happens to bands, but no. Werewolves had always felt like it was a pretty easy hop, skip, and jump to turn that into a live band. Faustian doesn't feel like that.
Okay.
Fuck, I'd have to learn how to chant in a Nokian again.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, Werewolves has been playing. I saw you guys played Death Fest with Left to Die. That's a pretty great lineup there, man.
Dude, that was such a fun day. That was at the Corner Hotel in Melbourne. And yeah, there's a ton of really good bands on that day. Unfortunately, I had to piss off before I saw Left to Die. I think the other guys hung out. I was catching a flight to Japan, of all things. But that was a really good show for us. I think it had been like soon enough after the previous shows in Melbourne, where people sort of like knew who we were, and others were like keen to see what we were going to do. But it was also close enough, I guess, back to all the touring and playing live that we've been doing, where we're still able to seamlessly, flawlessly pull a show out of our asses and throw it down. So that was good. There was a lot of the crowd was going pretty sick during that. Someone broke their collarbone and like sent us the doctor's like the doctor medical certificate. That was really cool. We love that shit. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet the rest of the year, and we've only got one more show left, which is going to be in Perth
Yeah,
in
man.
October.
Yeah, no, I'm
Um,
excited. Yeah.
oh, we're excited too. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's so funny that Perth is like still in Australia, but you get over there so infrequently, it almost feels like an overseas like show.
Mm.
And I haven't been to Perth like for, oh God, at least a couple of decades, I think. It's been quite a while.
Mm.
So really looking forward to that. There's some people over there that I want to catch up with,
Yeah, man.
um, and we get to play with Disentomb as well, which is going to be like pretty sick.
Mm.
Always love to catch up with those guys, and their show's fucking nuts. If you're in Western Australia and you're into metal, any metal, and you're not at this show, like, what the fuck are you? Um,
Yeah.
it's as good as it gets. Like, well, until Froth and Fury pops up, like in January. But,
Mm.
um, yeah, it's going to be really sick. I can see that there's some other killer bands on the lineup as well.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like a really fun day, like all around. And I'm just like, Matt and Dave have been playing almost constantly nonstop this entire year. I've had all of fucking one show, maybe two,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to. I'm pretty hungry, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really got gig and blue balls at the moment and want to throw the fuck down. Like, so yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hectic set.
Excellent, man. No, good. Looking forward to it. So yeah, album's out September 19, and yeah, we'll see you at Electric Eye Fest in October. Thanks for your time. It's always good to chat, Sam. Cheers, man.
Thanks, man. Always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Have a good one.